Welcome to Tim Anderson Horse Training. Today we're going to talk about bit rules as far as AQHA, NRHA, and NRCHA pertains to the bit rules. We're going to talk about how the rules are different in each organization and what each organization requires as far as bits. This video is based on the 2020 rule books for each organization. The rules for the bits do not change very often, but sometimes they do. If you do have any question about the bit rules for the organization that you show in, check the rule book for that organization. The first group of bits we're going to talk about is Snaffle Bits. Snaffle Bits are bits that do not have any sort of leverage. They are ring snaffles, D-rings, or egg butts. This would be a D-ring snaffle. AQHA and NRHA all allows for O-ring, D-ring, and egg butt snaffles. NRCHA allows for O-ring and D-ring snaffles. This is all three organizations, AQHA, NRHA, and NRCHA, specify that the bit diameter cannot be any larger than 4 inches, measured on the inside. NRHA also specifies the bit cannot be any smaller than 2 inches. And also the bridle and the rein has to be loose attached to the rein. There cannot be any attachment for the bit or for the rein. It has to be loose inside the rein to be legal with any of the three organizations. In all three of the organizations, AQHA, NRHA, and NRCHA, the bit has to be smooth, no wire wrap. It may have copper inlays on the inside, but it still must be smooth. And the bit cannot be any smaller than 5/16 of an inch, measured 1 inch over from the cheek. It can taper from there on, but if you measure 1 inch in, it has to be at least 5/16 in diameter. And NRHA and NRCHA specifies that a snaffle bit has to be a 2-piece mouthpiece. It needs to be broken in the middle, it must be broken in the middle, and no more than 2 pieces. AQHA does allow a 3-piece mouthpiece. It can have a ring of up to 1 1/4 inches, or it can have a flat bar, 3/8 of an inch to 3/4 of an inch in diameter, and it must lay flat in the horse's mouth. That would be the 3-piece. AQHA and NRHA allows for a latex wrapped mouthpiece. NRCHA does not. It cannot be wrapped with latex for NRCHA. I want to talk about curb straps. In AQHA, if you show in cow horse classes or versatility ranch horse classes, as of 2019, curb straps are required. It says that a curb strap can be leather or any woven material. In any other class, AQHA class, the curb strap is optional. Specifically says the curb cannot be chained, like what we see in on a lot of bridle bits. Can be leather or a woven material. In NRHA or NRCHA, the curb straps are still optional. None of the three organizations, AQHA, NRHA, or NRCHA, have a minimum width as reference to curb straps on a ring snaffle. We will talk about the minimum width if they're on a bridle. But if you do have a curb strap on a snaffle bit, there is no minimum width. It can be a regular strap like this, or it can be a piece of woven cord like what's on this bit. Also, when you attach the curb strap to the bit, the curb strap has to be below the reins. This is the curb strap down here. It has to be below the rein so that when you pull on the rein, it does not pull on the curb strap. So when you do put a curb strap on a snaffle bit, the strap has to be attached below the rein. Okay, now we're going to talk about leverage bits. A leverage bit is any bit that has a shank, and when you pull on the shank, it applies leverage through the use of the curb strap. So that would be a leverage bit. In all three organizations, AQHA, NRHA, and NRCHA, the length of the shank cannot be no larger than 8.5 inches. That is measured from the top of the ring right here, where the bridle attaches, to the pull point where the rein attaches. No more than 8.5 inches. Now I'll give you a little bit of a secret. Your AQHA and NRHA rule book is just under 8.5 inches tall. So that works as a good guide. As long as your shank is no longer than your rule book is tall, you're good. No gag bits are allowed in any of the three organizations, which I do not have any to show you. What a gag bit is, if a bit slides up and down, the shank where it's attached, the mouthpiece slides up and down, that would be a gag bit. So gag bits are not allowed in any of the three organizations, AQHA, NRHA, or NRCHA. This will be an example of a snaffle bit with attachments for the bridle and the reins. This is actually an English bit, but see how the bridle has an attachment right here, and there's an attachment down here for the reins. This would not be a legal snaffle bit for any of the three organizations, AQHA, NRHA, or NRCHA. According to all three organizations, AQHA, NRHA, and NRCHA, the bit can be round, oval, or egg-shaped. AQHA and NRHA, the bit has to be a minimum of 5/16 in diameter, measured 1 inch from the cheek. NRCHA, the bit has to be a minimum of 5/16 in diameter all the way across the mouthpiece. AQHA and NRHA allows the mouthpiece to be latex wrapped. NRCHA does not allow a latex wrap. According to AQHA and NRCHA, nothing may protrude below the mouthpiece of the bit. So right here on this bit, this is the mouthpiece on the bottom. Nothing may protrude below the mouthpiece. NRHA says that nothing can protrude more than 1/8 of an inch below the mouthpiece. The reason for the NRHA has that difference, there are some bits that are made like this that have a little rivet right here on the bottom that holds the top part in, and technically that does protrude below the mouthpiece, but NRHA has that 1/8 of an inch allowance to make sure that those bits are allowed. Also, when we talk about port, the port is the amount that the bit comes up from the mouthpiece. NRHA and AQHA states that the port cannot be any taller than 3.5 inches. That is the measure from the bottom of the mouthpiece up to the top of the port. That's AQHA and NRHA. In NRHA and AQHA, bits can be 2 or 3 pieces. Here you see this bit. This is a 3-piece bit. You have a piece here, and then the port that allows that swivel. That is a 3-piece bit. That is allowed in AQHA and NRHA. Now we get into some differences for NRCHA. NRCHA has some differences according to the mouthpiece. NRCHA says that the mouthpiece cannot be broken. It has to be one unbroken mouthpiece. Also, it must have a port of at least 1 inch with a roller inside the port. So this would be an NRCHA legal mouthpiece. NRCHA also states that the shanks must be connected at the bottom. They can either be connected with a metal strap or with a bit hobble like this. NRCHA does not specify a maximum on the port. Here to show you a couple more examples. This is another example of an NRCHA legal bit. Mouthpiece is not broken, has a roller under the bottom, and this one has a little bit of a cover over the port, and the bottom of the shanks are connected. Another example of a NRCHA legal bit. I have another one here. Single mouthpiece, it's not broken. Port with a roller inside the port. The roller must be inside the port. Also, NRCHA says that you must have a leather curb strap of at least 1/2 inch thickness, and cannot have any metal come in contact with the horse's face. So this curb strap cannot have any metal, cannot have any keepers. See if I have an example of a leather curb strap with some keepers. Here's one right here. Here's a leather curb strap. Has these keepers right here on the leather. See the keepers? This is allowed in AQHA and NRHA, but this curb strap with these keepers would not be allowed in NRCHA. Cannot have any metal come in contact with the horse's face. And in fact, if you show NRCHA and you're getting your bit checked at the end, they'll have a magnet that they'll run around the curb strap to make sure that there's no metal in the curb strap. Another thing to note on NRCHA bits, it specifies that the tongue relief, which is the distance from here to here, the tongue relief where the port is, cannot be any more than 3 inches. So this distance across here cannot be any more than 3 inches. And according to AQHA and NRHA, you can have a curb chain, and it must be at least 1/2 inch wide. This is a double chain that's welded together. One thing to note for NRHA, they have in their rule book where it specifically states that the curb chain must lay flat. So if you have one of these curb chains that has the twisted links in it, make sure that it's twisted in a manner so that the links will lay flat against the horse's face, against the jaw. If your curb chain is twisted and does not lay flat, then it would be considered illegal equipment with NRHA. Doing another video, I'll talk more about reins and rein handling in another video. I hope that answers most of your questions for bits. If you have any other questions that I did not address, put it in the comments below the video and see if I can get them answered. Hopefully that clears up some of your questions as far as bits. I know it can be a little bit confusing as far as what bits are legal and what are not legal for different organizations. I want to thank you for watching my video today about AQHA, NRHA, and NRCHA bits. If you have any questions that I did not address, please put it in the comments below.